Okay, so yesterday I had you work the Khan Academy problems. You had to watch those videos. I think there were 6, and then I asked you to take the quiz. So Khan Academy started over chemical reactions, and then they moved into, let's see, balancing equations. So today I'm going to have you continue on with balancing equations, but I want to show you the way that I do it just because it's a little different. I don't know if mine's better or worse. It's just, like I said, it's another way to do it, and if it helps you out, then you can use this, and if it doesn't help, then go back to the way you're doing it, as long as you're understanding what's happening here. Okay, so examples. First of all, I'm going to start with some iron. Iron is Fe, and I'm going to combine iron with oxygen. Oxygen in the free state around us is actually an O2 molecule. So I'm going to combine those two, and what I end up with then is Fe2O3. This is iron oxide or ferrous oxide. That's rust. That's what this whole equation is simply making a piece of iron rust. So you can see the problem already I've only got 1 iron over here and 2 over there. I've got 2 oxygens here on the left and 3 on the right. So what we do now, when I do it, is I draw this, and this just, like I say, it's just the middle point here. I'm going to put my elements, though, down the middle. So my iron goes there, my oxygen goes there. And now, since here's the equal sign, I'm going to put however many irons that I've got here to the left over here. So I've got 1 iron, and I've got 2 oxygen on this side. And then over to the right in my products, I've got 2 iron and 3 oxygen. So this is my beginning point. This is where we get started. Okay, so to balance this equation, what I notice is since this is an O2, I need that to be an even number as well, and that 3 is not going to help me out. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is I'm going to put a 2 up here in front of my Fe2O3, and that's going to change these numbers. Now I've got 4 irons on this side, and I've got 2 times 3, that gives me 6 oxygens on this side. Okay, that makes it a little easier now that I've got an even number here. So to give me 6 oxygens on this side, I'm simply going to put a 3 here, because 3 times 2, that gives me 6. And then finally, to balance this out, I need 4. This is a real easy one because it runs with Fe, so a 4 there gives me 4 irons. So that's my balanced equation. 4 Fe's, so 4 iron molecules plus 3 O2 molecules is going to give me 2 molecules of rust. That was pretty easy. I think we can do a little harder one than that. Let's try propane burning. Okay, propane is the fuel that you use in like your gas cookers outside. Propane, by the way, is, let's see, that's C3H8. When it burns, it needs oxygen, so we have to add in the O2. And what that gives us then is carbon dioxide, CO2, and water. So there's the equation right there. Okay, so you got that. Once again, like I did here, I'm going to draw my little tree. I'm going to put my carbons, my hydrogens, and my oxygens in here. So on this side of the equation, I've got 3 carbons, 8 hydrogens, and 2 oxygens. On this side of the equation, I've got 1 carbon, hydrogens, I only have the 2, and then for oxygens, look, I've got 2 here and 1 over there, so I got a total of 3 oxygens. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to change my carbon on my CO2 because I'm going to get it over to this 3 right here. So let's put a 3 here in front of our CO2. And what that's going to do is that's going to change this over to 3, and it's going to change my oxygens. So I've got 3 times 2, that's 6, plus the 1. That gives me 7 oxygens up there. So, okay, so that takes care of the carbons. Moving on down the line, I can take care of my hydrogens next. In order to do that, all I have to do is change my, my number before my water molecule up here. I want it to equal 8, but I've already got, this is showing up in 2 hydrogens. So 2 times 4 gives me 8. So there's 8 hydrogens, but I messed up my oxygens by doing that because remember I had the 6 here, but now I've got 4. So now I've got the total of 10 oxygens. Okay, so that's pretty stable on that side. And look, I've taken care of all my carbon and all my hydrogen. And all I need to do is change my oxygen. Well, O2, that's a pretty easy thing to do. We're going to put 5 O2s in. And so now that gives me my 10 oxygens. That's a balanced equation. And again, all I'm doing is just using this little Christmas tree structure to help myself out, to show me where things fall. It just makes it a little neater. Now, sometimes I do get into some tough ones that I'll mark them out and mark them out and mark them out, but eventually they do fall into place using this method. It seems to work. So here's what I'm going to have you do today. I'm going to have you go ahead and work some problems today, and then tomorrow as well. So on Wednesday, you're going to be working some balancing equation problems. I'm sorry about just hitting you with all these problems all at once, but we want to get through this. And then come Friday, I'm going to have you take a quiz over this. Hopefully you can breeze through that quiz, and then when I get back next week, we'll be in a position where you guys can take a test over naming ionic compounds and putting together covalent compounds and then balancing equations. So it's going to be a significant test, but I'll get that put together hopefully this week or this next weekend. Okay, so that's all I've got for this video. So good luck balancing the equations.